hypothetical viewers, and welcome back to Shining Force CD. We are facing down Chu Rao, who was waiting here in Dava's mansion to oppose us, but unfortunately, when he got a little tired of waiting and decided to have an epic party, and now all of his army is really hungover. That's not going to deter us from beating the hell out of them, though. So here we go. We can't attack all of them at this stage. Not all of them are valid targets. My guess is that as the fight goes on, more and more of them will kind of wake up and join the fight. Apparently our characters are far too noble and heroic to start attacking the ones who are too drunk to fight back. Even though when you think about it, that probably would be the best strategy. But we're the good guys, so we don't do that. We're setting off into this feast hall. I'm also a little alarmed that the alcohol appears to be a sort of a drab olive green that does not seem like something you should eat or drink. I'm not sure that's very safe for human consumption. Raises questions. Oh, also a side note that I just thought of. I actually don't know which character, generally the leader of your force, if they're defeated, then you lose the level. I don't know which character counts as the leader here, or if it's both Ben and Nick. So that's, I guess maybe we'll find out if one of them dies. But yeah, it's not really clear, because we haven't gone to the, you generally can't swap the leader out. I think you couldn't, maybe you couldn't Shining Force 2, I don't totally remember. That game is a little different mechanically from the others, but you can swap them out, but we also didn't go back to the party screen yet, so I haven't looked at that. That dwarf walked up to us and then did nothing. That's so strange. Well, let's have Natasha bash out some Blaze 4 here. I have to say, normally I'm always praising the Battle Bar friends, and this one does, it's very detailed, it looks cool. But the size of the sprites looks sort of weird. It looks like we're absurdly gigantic. And I realize, oh, maybe it's forced perspective, that table is just far away, but it just doesn't look like the dwarf is 15 feet tall. It's well made, it just slightly clashes with the characters. I also like the contrast between, kind of the thrilling battle music and the actual background theme for this map, which is kind of like a wah wah, goofy song, indicating the silliness of this moment. Okay, sure, we can just wrap up here. I could have had him go try and heal the poison on Roos, but I was just like, since we've got a moment to tidy that up. Yeah, she doesn't have detox. Well, let's just carry on deeper into the map. Start attacking. I feel like as you get closer to him, all the enemies from behind will start approaching, so it'll become better kill the boss before all the enemies catch up to you. I think that could be what's gonna happen. Yes, the poison. Claude, come help out. Maybe Sarah was just much higher level than I remembered. I somehow over-leveled her even more. Because Claw is level 20, which is his sort of Haja stats. He hasn't got any bonus for the stats that we got him in the first game, which I thought maybe was why Sarah was higher level, but maybe it's just if you're a Book 1 only character, you get those stats. If you were also present in Book 2, or were only present in Book 2, you get those. Who knows? So far this has been kind of a leisurely map, but I am expecting that to change. Yay, Nick got a level! Maybe we can get him to 20 as well, who knows? That'd be nice. Goodness knows our sort of Haja friends are mostly kind of done getting levels. Even once you start getting levels past 20, you don't really get a lot of stats, so I think you get maybe a point of HP basically. I found this also in Final Conflict where it's once I got to that level, you got maybe some MP and HP and that was it. Which, for the healers, was still good because more MP helped, but... And you're not going to say no to HP, but it just wasn't a big deal at that point. So it's you can keep leveling. Just don't need to. Okay, yeah, none of them is awake yet. Let's beat up this groggy dwarf. Groggy dwarf. Well done with the translation, has to be said. That's a very funny thing for them to be called. I also should say, as a side note here, oh, it also is nice that, you know, Shade already has the 3-range weapon, even though we're mostly using, like, not our super. Oh, he gets, yeah, I guess we have some of our, like, nice endgame weapons. Even if it's not our, like, special weapons, you know, the ones you get chests and stuff. But yeah, I should say here that I'm assuming all of these enemies are drunk. The game claims that they are tired because they stayed up so late partying. I really think they're hungover. That's what I'm guessing. They're so darn tired, it's hard for them to fight. I will actually have to use detox just to get rid of the. It's not really because the poison is so dangerous, it's because it's annoying to me to have to see the message saying that he took damage from the poison every turn. And I'm hoping to have that enemy get killed maybe by one of our Book 1 characters, so it's less of a waste. But, you know, that may not happen. We can start tagging this wizard, or the necromancer. All the enemies on these two maps so far have had new names, and I assume it's because, like, their stats need to be higher since this is a post-endgame battle. So they're unique special enemies just for the post-game. I like the little animation of, like, hopefully Roos. Yay, Roos! He was a little behind because he doesn't get his turn that often. His movement is good, so he fell behind the other Book 1 characters a teeny bit. But yeah, this little animation on these tables of like something dripping off the end. That's pretty cute. That's like so fun. That's a nice detail. I feel like in general the sprite work in this game, it just has an extraordinary amount of just little details and, you know, nice touches to it. It feels like it was made with love. Yeah, I have to say, you know, if you were, obviously, nowadays, you know, you're playing this on emulator, but if, you know, it was contemporaneous, you were getting a Shining Force game at the time they actually came out, Shining Force CD would not be a bad pick if you're only going to buy one, because it has both of the 2 Game Gear games, and then you do get a nice little bonus content, so for sheer amount of characters and gameplay and story, that's pretty good. I would say, in terms of number of chapters, I think Shining Force 2 may come close to, like, it's not quite as much as combined across all 4 books, but Shining Force 2, I didn't enjoy that one as much as the others. Let's not go back to that. But yeah, in terms of amount of gameplay, you know, it's very impressive. Well, Eric, help us out. Oh, we just meant to attack the wizard. Oh well. Oh, I guess we already killed the wizard and the berserker knight showed up. You can tell how closely I'm paying attention. Well, we're slowly making our way there. Okay. Ben kind of got stuck back here. Okay. Moving up Shade. He can attack the berserker knight. Using one of the Pegasus knight enemies. Good. Excellent. We're even getting leveled. Isn't that delightful? So wonderful. I guess since I've retained the on my cartridge save the save game for both Book 1 and Book 2, if I wanted, I could go back and I guess if Book 4 is really impossible, I've heard it's absurdly hard. So we'll see if it's possible to beat. If it's really way too hard, I could go back and grind up more in Book 1. Because I still have the file, obviously, and then I could start a new one, like, using that save data or whatnot. If necessary. I'm assuming they don't really intend you to grind everyone up to 20 and then again to 20 just to beat all this. But who knows? Sometimes old games really did expect you to do some certain things in order to beat like their bonus gauntlet. Get rid of those healers as well. Otherwise, they're just gonna heal Chu Rao over and over again. And that would suck. Yeah, I probably, this is short enough that maybe you could play it like all in a day, but I probably will actually not record it all in a day. Mostly because it's getting a little late and A, I am trying to reduce the number of nights in which I'm up until like 4 a.m. And B, I do have a roommate, so even if I'm awake, I don't want to be noisy at odd hours of the night. So I'll probably wrap up after this. This will be good. It won't take too terribly long. And then, man, after this would just be Shining Force 3, which would be really epic because I never owned a Sega Saturn when it was out originally, and I've never emulated any Sega Saturn games. So I did test just to make sure that I could get Book 1 to like start and like load and correctly and stuff. So I think it's working fine, but that will be quite an adventure for me, someone who has never played that. And also, that game is like much longer than I think any of the others. This should be enough. So that's going to be like a pretty epic thing. Especially since I actually, because it's been a while since I downloaded the files for it, I should actually check back and see if the group that was making the fan translation has like a new version of the patch. Because there's 3 books of that game, and only book 1 ever came to the US, and it was an edited version, or well, not edited, but it was an adjusted version where they knew they weren't going to do the other 2, so they changed the ending to just sort of wrap everything up as opposed to ending on a cliffhanger, which apparently made the story suffer quite a bit, as you could imagine, with that level of content loss. So I'm actually playing a translated version from a fan group. Well, I will play that, which is pretty exciting. And they may very well have updated the patch already. It's been like, God, more than a year at this point since I downloaded it. Oh, maybe his weapon casts magic. Oh, he has a special attack. He can spew flaming breaths. Now, I don't know why he can do that, and I am kind of wondering if it's some sort of reference to the fact that he's really drunk or what he ate or something, because this level is like about how, oh, these people partied a little too hard. So, God, these priests are really annoying. They're killing each other too. We really gotta get rid of them. Part of either I rushed too much or I didn't rush enough. I'm uncertain because some of our forces stayed behind and some didn't. It is an interesting map design where it's like, you kind of don't want to linger around waiting to defeat everything, but if you have only some of your party members go forward, then when you get to the top, you do get kind of stuck. You know what? Just to make sure Claude doesn't die, since we're not close enough to heal him, let's use Aura 4, which doesn't have a range. Because I put in the effort to level Ryan Sarah all the way up, so she got Aura 4 and enough MP to cast it twice a battle. So why not enjoy? I really, in all the games where I've actually managed to get Aura 4, I do feel a certain like joy in actually busting it out, because it's like, oh, this took so much work to get. The first time I ever actually managed to get it, at the time I was like, does Aura 4 actually have range all? I didn't know yet, and it was in I think it may be on recording actually, I think it was in Shining Force 2, and I was like, I better just use 3, because if I'm wrong, then it's not really what this does, it just seems to be pointing at her. And if I'm wrong, then we'll all die. But I tested later on, and I was like, oh, it really does do that. Okay, good. I'm gonna have her go attack this guy, because then the other priest won't have a second guy to help him out. Okay, we're making progress here. Some of the units don't seem interested in like helping out these enemies. And this necromancer was like, I don't need to cast a spell, I'll just hit you with this stick. Oh, I love it. You know, actually, he can only cast this once, but I'm mostly casting this just because we have 3 people who can use egress. He doesn't need to actually save MP for egress. And I think it's neat to be able to actually use Bolt for once on our hero. Very good, Nick. Oh, he got the level 20. Oh, and he got Bolt 4! He doesn't really have the MP to use it effectively, but it's still nice that we managed to achieve that. How pleasing. Getting everyone up to the max. I know that this is not like an efficient way to play the game. You don't need to max everyone out to win in any way, but it's really satisfying to see all those level 20s. You know, it's like, got everyone up to the max. It feels like a bit of an, I don't know if an accomplishment is quite the right word even, but it just feels like, nice. Well, this, I don't know if the priest resists magic at all. Sometimes, oh, good. Sometimes, like, wizard enemies and stuff seem to take a little less damage from spells, but good, we got rid of both of the healers. Wendy can start attacking the Berserker Knight, I don't know. The mages were very... They would have been tough to level up regardless in the first book. Because they just don't do a lot of damage. Yeah, I'm actually going to have him attack the wizard, the necromancer, just because he's going to be such a pain. Because we're going to cluster up to attack the boss. So that will suck. Okie dokie. Very good, making quite a lot of progress here. Yeah, I'm just kind of tidying up. I don't want us to get so swarmed by enemies that we, like, die. Jaha just cleaning house here. You're so strong. I really, anyone who has watched, any hypothetical viewers who have watched any of the playthroughs I've done, know that I really enjoy getting absurd, putting in all the work to absurdly overlevel and then just stomping shit. It can be so satisfying. There are times, occasionally, when I want to play challenging games and I don't do this, like I want to like have to struggle at it. But sometimes, you know, you just want to see big numbers and then do ridiculous things. You seem to have a unique boss theme. Man, that's like, I'm generally really impressed by this because like this is just like bonus chapters. We're only gonna fight him once, it seems like. In what is very much a bonus little short game, like a post game, and yet they put in the effort to give him a unique attack theme. Not unique a theme when he's the defender. It's like, man, that's really nice. That's just like effort, you know? That's some impressive effort. Like, that's polished. I like that. Come on, Nick. Go, go murder Chu Rao. Oh, he has 1 HP left. Well, we'll have to see if someone's turn comes up. Luke's attack animation is so funny because he sort of slides to the left, although he doesn't seem to move his feet. So he like waves his staff around and it seems to like helicopter him over slightly. Well, Sarah will probably die, but whatever, we can go back, I guess. You hear the unique theme? It's like he actually does get one. And he has, I have to say, he like has 2 different unique animations. That's pretty cool. Like, his punch animation looks like very, like kind of cartoony and funny because he's so top heavy. He's like very rotund. Yeah, I guess we'll egress and we'll find out what happens when you egress. Like, is there camp? I'm gonna risk it because if possible, I kind of like to give the level for they're killing him to someone who's not already at 20. We'll see how it goes. I can always replay this off camera and just show you what happens when the boss dies if necessary. Man, I feel so much more like chill and casual about this one because like, oh, it's a post game. It's just a bonus. It's just for fun. I don't need to take it seriously. whether that's an attitude that will ultimately bring me victory is yet to be discovered. I probably should take it more seriously because, according to when I looked up a bit about this, it's apparently rather hard. It's harder than the main game. Unfortunately, the lower level characters are also slower, so they don't really get their turn. Very good, very good. Sure, I'm kind of holding out for Wendy. she's like, you know, kind of the worst off. At least Moose is useful. Oh, nice, and he leveled up also. Very good. Yes. Bust out that blaze. Here we go. Alas for Chu Rao. His army was too drunk. I thought that they were gonna like start joining the party, joining the enemies as reinforcements, but they didn't. I guess they were just set dressing. That's pretty funny. You won? You were much tougher than I expected. Yawn! He's still just yawning. But this is not the end of your battles. Hee hee. So maybe we didn't defeat him. Maybe he like will face all of them again in the last battle of this or whatever. Is Queen Henri still safe? Let's go. How on earth should we know she's still safe? Probably not. She's kidnapped. On to the next room of this crazy mansion. Yeah, it's only 20 minutes. We'll see the cutscene and then... Ooh, this is like a garden room. Wow, this eastern country sure is different looking. So, are we in a different country? When it said we go to her mansion, I sort of thought her mansion was like somewhere in Cyprus. Because that's where we were, but... maybe it's in a completely different place. I don't know. Yeah, Chu Rao, I don't know what, like, is that a real name from, like, a specific language? That would give us a clue as to where this is set, where it's supposed to be. It doesn't sound like a Japanese name, but I'm also not a big expert in, like, languages or anything. Maybe China? Oh, his outfit looks a little like a traditional Chinese, like, surcoat. Although, again, I'm not an expert in fashion either, so that is a bit of a guess. But maybe this is supposed to be, like, kind of vaguely China or something? Which is funny, because it's like, obviously they don't need to be geographically similar to real life, but it's like Cyprus. Cyprus is the name of a real place in real life. Like Cyprus is like an island called that. I think it's near Italy. So did we travel from like all the way from there to China? That's quite a journey. We took a very small army for an expedition of that magnitude. I'm not sure. But anyway, it's quite different looking. Even though it's really just using the... Although I guess there are some unique tiles here. Like that little fountain I'm seeing over on the right, I think has not appeared in the rest of the game. So yeah, I guess it is different looking in that it has new tiles. Somebody is coming. Maybe it'll be Lumberjack Guy? Oh, these are women, so it'll probably be that woman whose name we never learned. Welcome. Although, these women look like they're wearing kimonos, so maybe it's supposed to be Japan. Maybe each of them is supposed to be from a different place, because Lumberjack Guy, what was his name? Like Bertol or... It was some weird thing that was like... It didn't look like an Asian name. So like maybe each of them is supposed to be from a different place. It's like this mansion is filled with different lands somehow. We heard that you had a hard time getting here, am I right? You're not. It was pretty easy. Guyan, wipe that grin off your face. Apparently Guyan is very into the kimono ladies. In spite of the fact that they're definitely enemies who want to murder us. Like, buddy, they're gonna try to murder us. Now relax, take it easy. Although, I mean, you can't really tell with the sprites, but like, they're blonde kimono ladies? They have the same hair color as Prince Nick, who's from Cyprus. So, are we still in Cyprus? They knocked Mayfair right over. Our boss has been waiting for you. I'm assuming it's the one enemy general we didn't learn the name of, the woman. These are beautiful ladies, don't you think so, Nick? Nick is nodding. Are they like mind controlling us? Nick, this must be a trap. Please keep to yourselves. It is very obviously a trap. What do they have, like, I don't know, like perfume that, like, in some games perfume is an item that can cause confusion. I have played games where that was a thing, so I'm like, did they have some kind of perfume that, like, warped everyone's mind? I can't believe this. This is a very comical post-game. Yeah, it's her. Welcome, my name is Kisaragi. Kisaragi... That sounds more like it could be like a Japanese name, and they are all wearing kimonos. She also has very interesting hair. It's got like spikes in it. Like she's like Cloud or something from Final Fantasy. That's crazy. I guess maybe she should have a very elegant voice, like, welcome, my name is Kisaragi. Everyone looks so tired, why don't you relax? If you don't like that, why don't you try that with us? The red font makes it look like that is murder. Like, very threatening. That? Unless the implication here, maybe the red was not supposed to look like threatening blood, but supposed to look like a romantic red, and that is, you know. Guyan thinks that they're gonna bang. Yes, that. I really think that is murder in this context, though. This chick is gonna murder us. That's disgusting. No thank you. Everybody ignore her. Wow, Mayfair, I don't slut shame this poor lady. The problem is not that it's disgusting. The problem is that she's gonna murder us, which is like, I really think all of you should be more focused on that. Seems like a big deal. Poor Mayfair. It must be so interesting. What must be? Well, Nick, what do you think? Are you gonna try that? No, that is definitely gonna be murder in this context. Are you sure? Yeah, I'm real sure I don't want to get murdered. We have to save Queen Anri. We have no time to waste. We must go now. Oh, Guyan, you're so loyal. You have to leave now. Yeah, I thought so too, but I cannot let you go. Ah, they use their magical powers. I was assuming she was the wizard because she looked like she was wearing a dress. Like a robe, but I don't actually know. I can't really tell from the sprites. Okay. After that extremely wacky interlude, we are gonna egress. So I guess let's leave the map analysis until the next one. Because I want to res our dead party member. And we do get to go to camp. Sometimes it's better to retreat and regroup. Okay. I don't know where we're camping. We're camping in the other room of the house, I guess. Do we have any spares? We do! What? Okay, so I was like, at first I was thinking, oh, do we only get this one party? It looks like we get everybody. So it's a nice chance to actually show off the various, what level everyone reached. You can really see that I just did not do that much grinding for the book 1 characters. Like Cray level, it was a pain in the ass to do. And I was just like, screw it. Apis got to a decent level. If you're stuck, we got Yisha, the wizard. Here's Domingo. Ah, man, poor Domingo, like, he's so good in Shining Force 1, but he just never reached that level here, and I really think part of it is because the level 3 spells don't have the big range anymore, and that was so useful. Here's Cashing, who I managed to promote him. He was painful to level up. Gates, yeah, Shriek, the bird, who's not very good. Randolph. Amigo the healer! She actually is more useful than Domingo just because, like, extra auras is nice. And here's our book 2 characters who are much higher level because I went crazy. Slade, Graham, Chester, and May. See, she gets Bolt 4. Here's Road. Not every single character got this treatment. I just was like, ugh, it's gonna... I did consider doing this for, like, literally everyone, but at the end I was just like, why am I doing this? I'm like, I need to take myself in hand here and not be quite this absurd. Now who should we put in the party? Oh, this is something of a debate between dump all the characters who are at max level so people who, like, you know, aren't as overpowered can join the party, and put all the people who are at max level so we can be as overpowered as possible. You know, I'm being silly. The obvious answer is we're gonna put the favorites. Although I love all of them, so that's tough. Oh, and it seems that no one is really the main character of this one, because both Ben and Nick can be replaced. Aw. Now I'm feeling sad about replacing, even though I'm like, Luke, Jaha, I mean, I took them to Final Battle, but they're not even my, like, faves, but I'm like, oh, replacing them. But yeah, not that I don't love, I really do love all of them. These games are filled with delightful, colorful, lovable characters. Do-do-do! Chester? What does the Pegasus Wing do? In Shining Force 2, it was a promotion item, but I'm assuming that's not the case here. That would be strange. Maybe it's just a stat booster? Oh, gotta have Bram. Screw you, Roosh, you're gone. We're basically just reassembling the Shining Force 2 party. I'll just play that game again, that's my favorite. Yeah, I think that's really, you know what? We're just gonna check everybody's status. Oh, I should have clicked it. Never mind then. Oh, there's still a talk option. We don't have any new characters, though. I don't know if they say anything different, because my helmet, that's what I've ever seen. Look at your attack magic spells, all one of them. I don't remember their quotes from, like, when we first played through those games. Oh, they are different, because he said he can't forgive Dava. Yeah, so they have new stuff. Okay, we'll go through them all then. Some of them may not be new, but at least a couple are. Maybe I should have been reading them out loud. Okay, look, probably no one is ever going to watch this, but if you do, feel free to pause the video to read the text. Because I don't want to go back and do it now. Natasha is such a devoted, like, follower of the prince. I do not want to fight. There's a typo there. What? Probably another reference to drinking. They're all so delightful. I love all these quotes. This one is awkwardly translated. It's got some grammatical issues. This one also, they're just like, some of them are just a little rough. They're like not quite right. In my free time, I like the bench press girls. Slade, let's go this way. Slade is not a girl, though. Maybe he wants them to bench press together. Like, he's not going to bench press Slade because Slade is a girl. I was like, that doesn't make sense. Let's use our... We picked up a couple items. Let's figure out what the hell the Pegasus Wing does. You can't use the Pegasus Wing for that. Then what is it? I'll have to look that up, because I genuinely have no idea. The only game I remember it from is Shining Force 2, where it's a promotion item for secret promotion. Who should the running memento be used on? I'm just musing on the possibilities here. It boosts your movement by 2. Normally I'd say heal is a good choice, but I have her use Aura 4 a lot, which is not ranged. It works on everything. Obviously you can't go wrong with the main character, but I'm actually going to use it on Natasha because wizards don't have as much movement to begin with. So that way she can keep up with the force. And let's see what the hell's in the shop. Maybe Nick is the main character. So he said, welcome Prince Nick. Man, you'd have to grind a lot to get that. Okay, well. Alright, we should save the game. Yeah, record Nick's adventures. So Nick is the main character. I mean, it is his crowning ceremony that got interrupted. We will continue. We will continue next time. So thank you for watching, hypothetical viewers. This episode got a little weird at the end where I was just viewing all the quotes in the shop, just kind of trolling about. In this chapter, we fought and defeated Chu Rao, whose army was very drunk, so they weren't at their best. And then we wandered into the next room of the mansion, which is like a full indoor garden filled with ladies in kimonos who distracted our party members temporarily. But then the boss, what was her name? Kisaragi, I want to say, stopped messing around and threatened to murder us. So we're gonna have to fight her. And I don't know what kind of abilities she has. We didn't look at the map yet, so we'll have to see. Like, will she blast us with magic, attack us with weapons? We do not yet know. But our journey through this mysterious and wacky house continues, so look forward to that on the next episode of Shining Force CD.